Often I get asked, how does a home standby system work? In order to explain that, we need to understand there's a few components that make up the system. The first being the automatic transfer switch. Automatic transfer switch is a switch designed to isolate generator power from utility power. In other words, we never want generator power and utility power to meet. The next major component is the generator. Generator is comprised of an internal combustion engine and an alternator. The engine is the prime mover for the alternator. That engine is what we use to turn the rotor within the alternator to give us the electrical output. That electricity is what will ultimately re-energize your home during an outage. You have your internal combustion engine made by Generac. You have your alternator that is producing the electricity. Your control panel, the brains of the operation. Hidden behind here, accessible through the end panel, is that automotive style battery and all your connections. Your exhaust header and muffler contained behind this shield. When the utility power fails, the control panel within the generator is going to sense that loss of utility. Once it does that, it will immediately signal the generator to start. Once the generator is up to speed, engine parameters are met, normal output parameters are met from the alternator, and the power outage still remains, the control board within the generator then signals that transfer switch to transfer power from utility to generator. At this time, your home is now being supported from the generator. Let's demonstrate the system working. What we're going to do now is simulate an outage. When I open this breaker or turn it off, it is exactly the same as the grid failing from the street in terms of what the generator senses. So here we go. The power has just failed from the street. The generator has sensed the utility loss and has already started up. But let's measure the time it takes from outage to transfer to generator power. Simulating the outage. We can hear the generator starting up outside. The control panel's making sure that the generator is operating within parameters. And the transfer switch has just transferred, somewhere around the 21-second mark. So 21 seconds from grid failure to re-energizement from the generator. Not too long an outage to tolerate. Once utility power returns, the sequence happens in reverse. So now that the generator's been operating for the length of the outage, well, we're actually going to return the power to the residents by closing the breaker or turning it on. And there is your transfer back to utility. 15 seconds from restoral from the grid to transfer back to the utility. The generator has now entered its cool down mode. Utility voltage is picked up on the utility sense terminals in the control panel. The control panel ensures that that power is up and stable from the utility. It signals the transfer switch to transfer the home back to utility power. Once that's done, the generator will enter a cool down period. It will shut off and it will be armed and ready to go for your next outage. All of this happens automatically. No input on your part. The generator is fueled by natural gas on your home or propane, if that is what's fueling your home now. It's plumbed directly in, does not require you to come fill it up with gas. For those that don't have natural gas or propane, we do have diesel alternatives. I think it's important to also mention that the entire sequence from utility failure to transferring over to generator power, that all happens within 30 seconds.